What if I told you that reality itself is not what it seems? That beneath the surface of everything you see, touch, and experience lies a set of invisible laws, laws that govern the very fabric of existence, laws that have been hidden in plain sight for thousands of years, known only to those who dared to seek beyond the veil. These are not theories, they are not beliefs, they are the fundamental principles upon which all of reality operates. And once you understand them, nothing will ever be the same. This is the ancient wisdom of Hermes Trismegistus. This is the Kybalion, and this is your awakening. In the depths of ancient Egypt, long before the pyramids became ruins, there existed a figure whose wisdom transcended time itself. The Greeks called him Hermes Trismegistus, Hermes the thrice great, a being who was said to be part man, part god, the master of all hidden knowledge. Some say he was the Egyptian god Thoth. Others believe he was the first philosopher to understand the true nature of the universe. What we know for certain is this: his teachings survived. Encoded in mystery schools, whispered through secret societies, and eventually compiled into a small but profound text published in 1908, the Kybalion. This book revealed 7 fundamental principles, 7 keys that unlock the mysteries of existence itself. But here's what most people miss. These aren't just philosophical concepts, they are operational laws. The universe doesn't care if you believe in them. They work whether you acknowledge them or not. Gravity doesn't ask for your permission, neither do these. And today, we're going beyond surface-level understanding. We're diving deep into each principle, uncovering what they really mean, and more importantly, how they're already shaping your life right now, in this very moment. The all is mind. The universe is mental. These 7 words contain a truth so profound that it shatters everything you think you know about reality. This is the first principle, the foundation upon which all others rest. What does it mean? Simply this: everything you perceive as physical reality, your body, the chair you're sitting in, the device you're watching this on, originates from consciousness itself. The universe is not a dead mechanical thing. It is a living mental creation, a thought in the mind of the All, the infinite intelligence that some call God, Source, or universal consciousness. But here's where it gets personal. If the universe is mental, then so is your reality. Your thoughts are not passive reflections of the world. They are creative forces, actively shaping what you experience. Every fear, every belief, every repeated thought pattern is literally molding your personal universe. This isn't metaphor. Quantum physics has shown us that observation affects reality at the subatomic level. The observer effect proves that consciousness and matter are inseparable. The ancient Hermetic masters knew this thousands of years ago. They understood that to master your mind is to master your reality. Think about this. Every invention, every building, every work of art existed first as a thought. Your current life circumstances became mental patterns. If you want to change your external reality, you must first change your internal reality. This is the secret that the masters have guarded. Reality is not happening to you, it's happening through you. As above, so below. As below, so above. You've heard this phrase before, but do you truly understand its power? This is the principle of correspondence, and it reveals that the same patterns repeat throughout all levels of existence. The macrocosm mirrors the microcosm. The structure of an atom resembles a solar system. The branches of a tree mirror the pattern of rivers, and the rivers mirror the pattern of blood vessels in your body. The spiral of a galaxy echoes the spiral of a nautilus shell, which echoes the spiral of your DNA. This isn't coincidence, it's cosmic law. What happens in the vast expanse of the universe is reflected in the smallest particle. And here's what this means for your life. The external world is a mirror of your internal world. Your relationships reflect your relationship with yourself. The chaos you see outside exists because of unresolved chaos within. The abundance you seek externally can only manifest when you first cultivate abundance consciousness internally. The ancient Hermetic masters used this principle to understand the invisible realms by studying the visible. They knew that if you want to understand the nature of the divine mind, study your own. If you want to understand the patterns of your life, look at the patterns of nature. Everything is connected. The universe operates on repeating principles from the atomic to the cosmic scale. When you align yourself with these patterns, when you recognize the correspondences, you gain the ability to navigate all planes of existence. You realize that working on yourself isn't selfish, it's the most powerful thing you can do. Because as you transform within, the without must follow. This is law. Nothing rests, nothing is still. Everything moves, everything vibrates. This is the third Hermetic principle, and it destroys the illusion of solid matter. Right now, as you watch this, the seemingly solid objects around you are not solid at all. At the quantum level, they are patterns of vibrating energy. Your body, which feels so physical, so permanent, is a collection of atoms vibrating at specific frequencies. And here's the key that changes everything. Different states of matter, energy, and even consciousness are simply different rates of vibration. The difference between a rock and a human being isn't the material, it's the frequency. The difference between fear and love isn't philosophical, it's vibrational. Fear vibrates at a low, dense frequency. Love vibrates at a high, light frequency. Anger, resentment, jealousy, low vibrations that make reality feel heavy and constrained. Gratitude, compassion, joy, high vibrations that open doors to new possibilities. The ancient masters understood this principle and used it deliberately. They knew that by raising their vibration through meditation, through specific practices, through conscious thought, they could alter their reality. Modern science now confirms this through cymatics, the study of how vibration creates form. Sound frequencies can literally reorganize matter into geometric patterns. Your thoughts and emotions are vibrations. They are constantly broadcasting a frequency into the quantum field, attracting experiences, people, and circumstances that match that frequency. This is why two people can live in the same city, work the same job, and have completely different experiences. They're vibrating at different frequencies. If you want to change what you attract, change your vibration. And the beautiful truth, you have complete control over this. Every thought you choose, every emotion you allow, every action you take either raises or lowers your frequency. You are not a victim of circumstance. You are a vibrational being in a vibrational universe, and you are far more powerful than you've been taught to believe. Everything is dual. Everything has poles. Everything has its pair of opposites. This is the principle of polarity, and it reveals one of the most liberating truths about existence. Opposites are not separate things. They are two extremes of the same thing. Hot and cold are both temperature, just different degrees. Love and hate are both emotional attachment, just different intensities. Light and darkness are both the presence or absence of photons. The same thing, different poles. But here's where this becomes practical, where this becomes power. The Hermetic masters taught that because opposites are actually one thing with two poles, you can transmute one into the other by shifting along the scale. You cannot turn love into fear, they're different things entirely, but you can turn hate into love because they exist on the same spectrum. You can turn doubt into faith, poverty consciousness into abundance consciousness, despair into hope. This is mental alchemy. Think about a moment in your life when you were angry at someone and then something shifted and suddenly you felt compassion for them. That's polarity in action. The situation didn't change, your position on the pole did. Every negative emotion you experience has its positive counterpart waiting on the other end of the same pole. Depression and joy, anxiety and peace, confusion and clarity. They're not fighting against each other, they're the same energy expressing at different degrees. And here's the secret the masters knew: you don't fight the negative pole. Fighting it keeps you engaged with it, keeps you on that end of the spectrum. Instead, you acknowledge it, understand it's part of the pole, and consciously move your attention, your focus, your internal energy towards the opposite pole. Where attention goes, energy flows, and as energy flows, you slide along the spectrum. This is how you master your emotional state. This is how you transform suffering into wisdom. Not by denying the existence of one pole, but by recognizing you have the power to choose where you stand on the spectrum. Everything flows, out and in. Everything has its tides. All things rise and fall. The principle of rhythm reveals that nothing is permanent, nothing is static. There is always action and reaction, advance and retreat, a pendulum swing in all things. Look at nature. Seasons change. Day becomes night, becomes day. The ocean breathes in tides. Your heart beats in rhythm. Civilizations rise and fall. Markets boom and crash. Your emotions fluctuate. Your energy ebbs and flows. This is not chaos. This is cosmic law. But here's what most people don't realize. The rhythm swings both ways. Just as surely as night follows day, day follows night. When you're in a low point, when things feel dark and difficult, rhythm guarantees that an upswing is coming. Not because you deserve it, not because you earned it, but because that's how the universe operates. The pendulum must swing back. However, and this is crucial, the Hermetic masters didn't just accept rhythm, they learned to neutralize its negative effects through the law of neutralization. They understood that while you cannot stop the pendulum from swinging in the universe, you can rise above it. Imagine the pendulum swinging below you while you remain centered, stable, unmoved by the extremes. This is mastery. Think of a monk in deep meditation while chaos erupts around them. They're not unaffected by the world's rhythm. They've transcended reactive participation in it. They've found the still point at the center of the swing. This doesn't mean you won't experience challenges. It means you won't be swept away by them. You recognize the rhythm, you feel it, but you don't identify with it. You know that this too shall pass, whether it's pain or pleasure. Both are temporary phases in an eternal cycle. When you understand rhythm, you stop fearing the low points because you know they're preparing the upswing. You stop clinging desperately to the high points because you know they're temporary. You find peace not in the extremity of the swing, but in the wisdom of the cycle itself. This is how you live in the world, but not of it. Every cause has its effect. Every effect has its cause. Nothing happens by chance. Chance is simply a name for a law we haven't recognized yet. This is the principle of cause and effect, and it obliterates the myth of randomness. The universe is not chaotic, it's not arbitrary. It's a perfectly ordered system where every single thing that happens is the result of a cause, and every action sets in motion an effect. Most people live their entire lives at the effect side of this equation. They see themselves as victims of circumstance, subject to random luck, good or bad. Things happen to them. They react, they complain, they blame. They are effects, not causes. But the Hermetic masters understood something profound. There are many planes of causation, and the one who operates on a higher plane dominates those on lower planes. What does this mean? It means that most people are causes on the physical plane. They take physical actions that create physical results, but they are effect on the mental and spiritual planes. They're being influenced by thoughts, beliefs, and energies they're not even aware of. The master rises to a higher plane of causation. They understand that mental causes create physical effects. Spiritual alignment creates material reality. When you operate from a higher plane, when you become conscious of your thoughts, your beliefs, your vibrational state, you become the cause, not the effect. You stop reacting to life and start creating it. Every thought is a cause, every word is a cause, every action is a cause, and all of them create effects, rippling outward into your future, into other people's lives, into the very fabric of reality. This is the weight of responsibility and the gift of power. You are not a leaf blown by the wind. You are the wind. The question is, are you conscious of the causes you're setting in motion right now? Because I promise you, the effects are coming. They always do. The universe doesn't make mistakes. It doesn't forget. Cause and effect is absolute. So become deliberate. Become intentional. Operate from the highest plane you can access and watch as you shift from being an effect in your life to being the primary cause. Gender is in everything. Everything has its masculine and feminine principles. This final Hermetic principle is perhaps most misunderstood, so let's be clear. This is not about biological sex. This is about universal creative forces that exist in all things, in atoms, in energy, in consciousness, in the creative process itself. The masculine principle is projective, active, assertive. It's the force that initiates, that penetrates, that gives. The feminine principle is receptive, nurturing, gestational. It's the force that receives, that creates form, that brings into manifestation. Neither is superior, both are necessary. All creation requires both. Think about how anything is created. First, there must be the masculine impulse, the idea, the desire, the initiating force. Then there must be the feminine reception, the space that receives the seed, nurtures it, and brings it into physical form. A man has a masculine body, but must develop his feminine intuition, receptivity, and nurturing ability to be whole. A woman has a feminine body, but must develop her masculine assertion, logic, and directing force to be complete. In your own consciousness, you have both. When you set an intention, that's masculine. When you allow and receive, that's feminine. When you take action, masculine. When you rest and integrate, feminine. The problem in modern society is the severe imbalance. We've overemphasized the masculine, constant doing, forcing, controlling, competing, while suppressing the feminine, being, allowing, receiving, collaborating. This creates burnout, dysfunction, and separation from natural creative flow. The Hermetic Master balances both. They know when to assert and when to surrender, when to speak and when to listen, when to give and when to receive. This balance is the key to creation on all planes. Every atom contains positive and negative charges. Every wave of energy contains a peak and a trough. You contain both forces, and your power comes from honoring both, integrating both, and using both in harmony. This is the path to wholeness. This is how you become a conscious creator aligned with the fundamental creative forces of the universe. 7 principles, 7 keys, 7 laws that govern all of existence, from the smallest particle to the grandest galaxy, from your next thought to the destiny of civilizations. These are not beliefs you adopt. They are truths you recognize. They've been operating your entire life, whether you knew them or not. But now you know, and that knowing changes everything. The universe is mental. Your thoughts create your reality. As above, so below. Your inner world shapes your outer world. Everything vibrates. You can change your frequency. Opposites are connected. You can transmute any state. All things have rhythm. You can find the center of the swing. Every cause has an effect. You can become the conscious cause. Everything contains both masculine and feminine. You can balance and create. These principles don't give you power. They reveal the power you've always had. The ancient masters didn't discover something new. They remembered something forgotten. And now, so have you. The question is no longer whether these laws are true. The question is, what will you do with this knowledge? Will you continue to be the unconscious effect, or will you become the conscious cause? Will you remain asleep, or will you awaken? The veil has been lifted. The choice, as always, has been yours. This is your universe. These are your laws. Welcome to Mastery. If this knowledge resonated with you, if you felt the truth in these ancient principles, then you're ready for more. Subscribe to Veil of Consciousness for deeper explorations into the mysteries that shape reality itself. The journey has just begun.